Good afternoon. This is the second video that I said I would do. The first one was information I received from the 9. So if you haven't checked it out, it's about 20 minutes long. It's lots of information explaining how the 9, who they are and why they're here, or why they're connecting with me, and some things that interestingly happened. So this is sort of a follow along. I didn't want to confuse the two videos and mix them up, because I tend to do that. Is I'll talk about one thing and then jump to another. So I asked again what this upcoming week, we've just had the summer solstice, so this is the longest day. So we've got the next 6 months ahead of us, and I asked, what does that next 6 months mean? And I got this card: release, pulling the weeds. So to me, that is about, we need to pull the last of those things. This is what's been happening for me. I've been pulling out those last things that have been holding me, or holding us, from actually stepping into the next level for all of us, especially those that are here holding the light. With the pillars, where I'm seeing windmills, I'm seeing beacons of light, lighthouses, whatever makes sounds to you like you are. And not everybody is that person. But then the next card says, living with purpose brings me prosperity. So living with purpose brings me prosperity. So that's for this upcoming week. So overall, the next 6 months, we're going to be pulling out the last of the weeds in our garden. I love this deck, the Denise Lynn, the Mystical Garden Oracle deck. It's a new Oracle deck. It always seems to go, the 3 decks that I've been working with, they always follow on. And then in the last video, I talked about how we can access our memories, that when we chose to come to Earth, we knew that our memories were going to be wiped. It's the planet of amnesia, and the halls of learning, the halls of Amenti, Akashic Records is where all of our memories, all of our lifetimes are stored. And that is about spirit guides, confirmation, and great lessons. So this, I think, is going to be an intense week. We're seeing some crazy things happening out in the real world. It feels like a roller coaster right now of things that we think, oh, that's good, this is going to change, and then we slip back. We've also got Mercury retrograde coming soon. And if you followed me for any period of time, I really don't like it when Mercury's retrograde, but I'm going to hold that as a positive. It's feeling to me like it's going to be a pause, not a backward slide. That it's only, remember, we only bring to, like, if we sit in fear, then that's what happens. So I'm hearing clearly that even though Mercury will be retrograde, it doesn't mean in everything. It's saying in everything. It's not all things. But for us personally, it's not going to be a backslide. It's a pause. Now, I heard in a reading that I did a QET session with a friend of mine, and we both heard that we needed to take a sacred pause. That it's not that we're not being productive, it's we need to take a pause. So if you're feeling like you're stuck, you're feeling like you're not moving forward, this is a purposeful, so I'm hearing this is purposeful for us to stop, regroup, ground, bring in the light, bring in the new light, bring in the new codes. All of that happened at the solstice. Some of you may have felt it yesterday. I think we're going to feel it for the next few weeks. There's a lot of openness happening, a lot more about disclosure, more portals opening. I talked about that in my previous video. There are some videos going around where they're showing the portals on Earth that are opening. So there's a lot of openness happening. We're sort of expanding outwards. I remember once a doctor saying that children can't grow out and up at the same time, and it feels like that applies to us. We can't expand out and up at the same time. So for now, we're expanding outwards so we can, our vessel is expanding, is what they're saying, so that we can bring in the light, bring in the codes, and embody them, so that as we connect with others, it will spread out this way, not this way. So it's about spreading out, connecting, touching. They're saying touch people, hands-on healing. It's about spreading. As we embody the light and the energy and the positivity, it will spread to others. So that's pretty interesting message. So let's see what else we need to know for this week. So really I'm getting two bits of information. One is about the next 6 months, which is we're releasing all that is holding us back, and you can pull up the weeds, you can go in and find them. Living purposely brings us prosperity and reminding us of the halls of learning. You may feel your spirit guides around you, but it's all confirmation. So getting lots of confirmation. So let's see what else we need to know for this week. So abundance is coming in. Friendship. And journey. Oh, I just talked about this in my last video. Journey, there's a rainbow. And one of how some of the extraterrestrials find us is they connect to our frequency. And you can see all the colours in the rainbow. We have those within us, but one is brighter than the rest, and that's how they connect with us. So if you have connections with extraterrestrials, or I don't even like that term, beings from other planets, it's not to be afraid. So the abundance is the apple tree. So apple season isn't yet, it's August, I think. So abundance is coming in August. Friendship is the garden tea party. I like that. That's very British, having a tea party. And then the journey is the rainbow. There's fairies. You can also say that goes with abundance, because often at the end of the rainbow is the pot of gold. Never found it. I don't know about you, but never found that pot of gold. But they're saying that we don't need the gold. It's just knowing. It's like figuratively speaking. So I like how that flows. So the abundance is coming in August, because that's when the apples will be here. I also seem to be learning a lot more about farming, as my son now works at our local farm. So what have we got here? These are the gateway of light. So ancestral realms, we're going to have karmic release, healing our lineages and setting boundaries. Another portal. I'm going to put these up here, I think. Halls of learning. Ancestral realms. So as we pull up those weeds from the garden and release, it will also heal. They're again showing me past lives and any of our ancestral karma, and into the future. as we're completing our mission, it will allow us to heal our ancestral karma, even though karma has actually disappeared. Our crown chakra upgrade, that makes sense. So you see this intense, you can see there's something in there. This intense light is what I see. And especially when I'm connecting with extraterrestrials. So it's divine connection, holy experience, miraculous energy. So when we get a crown chakra upgrade, it straightens our crown. It opens. So instead of being like this, if you imagine it's like that, it does this. It becomes the lotus, so that we get we can bring, the reason that we're having the upgrade is so we can bring in more light. Yeah. All right, one more. Let's see, because these are all portals. Oh, solar light upgrade. So again, this is about light. Solar plexus chakra, inner fire, willpower. So often, for me, a lot of stuff comes in and out of my solar plexus. My solar plexus often does this, sort of vibrates. So that's often where we hold our inner fire and our willpower. It doesn't feel like we have to have, it's not about control. It's just a light upgrade is what I'm hearing, because this goes with the crown chakra upgrade. So we've got the crown chakra upgrade and solar light upgrade. And that makes sense, being the solstice. Oh, I just thought about that. The solstice, which is about more daylight, that portal opening. And this, so that is in line with the solstice, is the solar light upgrade. All right, and let's see what I like these ones. Let's see what how we need to raise our vibration. So we've got, your mind is an altar of source energy. Oh, there's a lot of energy talk here, so that's good. You've got, lots of energy. So this week, I think, is what, I'm getting all my cards confused here. So your mind is an altar to source energy. You see portal again there. So I like that. So lots of energy this week, which is nice because we've got the warmer weather here in the northeast, even though we've had some crazy rain and thunderstorms. This is the temperature I like, where I can have the windows open, even if it means I've got to have a fan on, but windows open, and you feel much lighter. Take the weight of the world off your shoulders, which again is what I talked about. I'll go over these one more time before I end, and I will post them as well, the cards. And the world is blessed to have you. That's always a nice message to have. We often forget that, right? That because we're so busy taking care of everybody else, we forget that we're also making an impact. And even at times when sometimes we get caught up with comparing ourselves to what others are doing. as I said earlier, like Amanda and I clearly got the message that we weren't not we weren't just not doing anything. Oh, choose kindness. So yeah, I like that. All right, do I need any more cards? They're saying maybe one more from the garden. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to use these because when I've been working with the dragons, they've told me not to use, these wonderful booklets that come with it. And I know how much hard work goes into it because when I did my oracle deck, that was the hard bit. The doing all the channeling wasn't as hard as putting it all down on paper. So I know, but oftentimes they want, or how I do oracle readings is I use the energy from the cards to direct where we're going. So this I'm going to sum up. This moving forward, the next 6 months is about pulling the weeds from our garden and releasing all that no longer serves us. That is the main thing for the next 6 months. Abundance is coming. I'm viewing it as this is an apple tree and the fruit comes in August. So a few more months, they're saying be patient. We're on a journey, and this connects nicely with my previous video where I talked about how we connect with our extraterrestrial families by our frequencies and our colour. Colour is playing a huge part in the 9 and my connection. And friendship, it's always nice to know there's a tea party, which is sort of a nod to I'm British. Afternoon tea is always been fabulous. Haven't done it in a long time, but I used to love a real afternoon tea. I don't know how we had afternoon tea and then ate in the evening, because I certainly couldn't do that now. So there is more friendship coming, is what I'm hearing. There are more connections and more friendships coming. So the last one is magic. So here's the unicorn. So along with the journey, the unicorn, the fairies, the pot of gold, we've got the magic of the unicorn for this week. So that's this week in the garden. And then we got some confirmation of portals and understanding. So lots of light upgrades this week. Crown chakra is being upgraded, so more light can come in. They're showing me we need to widen our crown chakra so that we can bring in more of the light. There's a solar light upgrade, which goes along with the solstice. I love how this is flowed this week. So open our chakra, and the solar light upgrade is going to infuse us with all of these colours. If you look at all these colours, we're going to be infused with not just the white light, but with all those colours to light us up. Also reminding us that we can access the halls of learning, the Akashic records, for us to remember, if you feel you need to remember, to be able to pull up those weeds. This is more with the 6-month plan. It's like we can now go in and pull our weeds, but we might need to connect to the Akashic records because we're clearing our ancestral karma, which is in this one, the ancient realm. There's a portal opening to the ancient realms. I always see this as a portal. Any doorway is a portal. Karmic release, healing the lineage and setting boundaries. And then the raising our vibration is to take the weight of the world off our shoulders. That goes with the message I talked about, that we're not even if we feel like we're slowing down or we're not moving forward, we are. That's what we need to do, especially this week after the solstice. They're saying we need to slow down and smell the roses. The world is blessed to have you in it. We always need to hear that because it's about taking care of ourselves as well. Your mind is an altar to source energy. And again, that goes with the upgrades and another portal. As you can see, there's another ring here. And choose kindness is the final message. I don't think most of us need to be told that, but I do think some of our world leaders do. So I'm just going to put that out there, that we need to choose kindness. So I hope that has helped you. As I always say, take what resonates, leave the rest, especially my previous video where I talk about extraterrestrials again. And, I've got to the age where I've decided this is what I'm being told. This is what I need to bring forward. It's either going to resonate with you or not. So take what resonates with you. I hope it's helpful. I do want to remind you that I have a website, which is www.eastcoastdragonlady.com, or you can email me at eastcoastdragonlady@gmail.com. I do oracle readings. I do dragon readings. I did on my website. I've had to remind myself, beginning of this year, I was saying that I now can connect my higher self with your higher self, which gives us a much richer reading. The cards are just instruments. As I said earlier, the dragons guided me into picking any card and reading the energy of it, not what the author intended. And even though I know a lot of work goes into that because I've written my own oracle deck, I do think it's important that we can tune into energy. So one of my gifts, one of my many, I don't often talk about, I'm really not good at selling my services either. So I need to re-evaluate that. This year was the year of what am I doing? Am I really trying to, I'm not trying to sell anything to anybody, but I know that I can be helpful to people. And I'm not quite sure how. Before, when I used to do hands-on healing, it was word of mouth, right? So if somebody had a session from me, they would tell other people. And my Reiki sessions used to be pretty unique because it was when I learned that when I touch people, I could tap into, often it was relatives would come through for them. So all of this I've been building up, and sometimes I forget what I can access. So I also offer a 45-minute clarity call where we can chat about what you need and whether I can be helpful with that. So, feel free to connect with me. If you have questions, I'm always happy to answer them. And it isn't about me, what I charge, or what it's about helping you with healing, with making connections, clearing you of things that may have happened, and getting sort of another set of eyes. I've a few times when I've done some readings for people, I've seen one of their past lives, or they've talked about a life, and I see it from a different angle. And a few times I've been able to see what was happening behind, like I'm thinking of one where somebody knew that they'd been shot. No, she was riding on a horse and died, and I saw that she was shot from behind with an arrow. And then that made sense to her, right? Because she hadn't got the whole picture. So sometimes I can complete that picture. I have success going back into my past lives, and often I can step back into yours, or we can look at portals. I've had on a couple of occasions people from other timelines come through those portals, which scared them and scared me in the beginning. You imagine somebody, this was somebody who was on the Scottish Highlands, and he stuck his head into a portal that had opened because he was interested and popped out in this timeline. And when I spoke to him, he was like, "You can see me? Oh my God." And I was like, "Oh, I can see you," which turned out to be the person that I was doing the work with. It was actually a husband on that timeline. And she'd always known she'd had a connection to Scotland. So I have multiple stories like that. So, they're not just an oracle reading. They can be whatever you need in that time. So I do have some people earlier on had posted that my readings were always accurate and they got their answers. And that was just sort of dragon readings. So I know that I can offer a whole lot more than that. So if that speaks to you, please connect with me, and I will be back next week. Take care.